Would you rather win a Super Bowl or an SEC championship and a national championship? Brought to you by Campbell, Cunningham, Taylor, and Haun. Enjoy life better when you see better. Local vision service for LASIK, cataract surgery, and regular eye examination. ccteyes.com, ccteyes.com. Where do you stand on that, young Caleb?
Well, just throw SEC championship out. I don't care about an SEC championship anymore. It's dead. With the 12-team playoff, it's the most irrelevant thing that you could possibly imagine. It's like winning the SEC tournament. It's like winning the SEC tournament championship in basketball now. Okay, that's what conference championship weekend is going to be starting next year. So
not next year. It'll take some years to erode.
No,
but let's
no,
go
starting
with
next year. Starting next year. No one's going to care.
People, no. People will still.
I would rest my starters for the SEC title game.
That's insane. The ratings will be the same, and they will still run around the field cheering about how they won an SEC championship, and we'll still always refer to that team as SEC champions. So I'm gonna respectfully disagree there. I think that still means a lot. What about the Natty
tournament championship in basketball?
No, that doesn't mean anything.
You still get to raise the banner for winning the tournament title, but national championship. Okay, sorry, I'm just trolling you, but look, man, it's still the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Like,
would it surprise you that so far Super Bowl has 22% and an SEC championship in college Natty has 78%? I know that is our listener base, but I agree with Smoky Mountain Red said, I think it still means something to the players. I totally agree. People still care. I disagree with you, Caleb, on the fact that it won't mean anything. I would think it'll be trivialized when we might not even have an SEC championship game when we go to mega conference, but for now it still means something. And I know that the Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. I've covered a Super Bowl, but I've also covered a team that won a national championship. To me, it would mean more because of the bond you build at that specific age in your life with those people. And I've seen that firsthand. So I actually would go with an SEC championship and SEC and college national championship. I would go with that over the Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people up north, if they're tuning into this, are like, oh my gosh, these guys are insane.
Okay. First of all, what about just national championship over Super Bowl? Why do you even need to include SEC championship? Like, what if you just
whatever you want to do, Caleb? If you got to beat that drum as hard as you can.
What about this?
You're going to continue to beat the drum about the SEC championship doesn't mean anything. So fine,
doesn't mean anything. My question is, would you rather? I got a question. Win a Natty, but don't win the SEC, or win the Super Bowl?
Wait, what?
Win the Natty, but don't win the SEC.
Well, I think the SEC is clearly secondary. Don't get me wrong to a Natty.
My
okay, so let's no. Let's make it.
You're not hearing my question. It's win a Natty without the SEC or win a Super Bowl.
Right. No, the Natty is the bigger of the two. So yeah, I would take the Natty. Yeah.
All right.
I heard your question. No, to me still would be the Natty because I think you would have bonds forever if you won a national championship.
I think the 98 team is unique in the bonds they had. I don't think every national championship team in college football is like that. I don't think Nick Saban's factory of national championship players had bonds at Alabama. I just don't. I think it was a pit stop for the NFL, and they were beating up on everybody because they were so much better than everybody.
I disagree. I think that I know a lot of those guys that said to themselves that they wanted to win it for their senior class, even though maybe the class before them had just won it. I think there's a lot of pride in that. I think when you go home to Tuscaloosa or wherever you won that Natty, you're still revered. You never have to pay for another beer in your life. No, to me, that's a big one. Whereas I think you could go into Dallas, and maybe Dallas is a bad example because that's one of the more rabid fan bases. There are probably about a half dozen fan bases: Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Dallas. You could probably pick 2 or 3 more that are rabid fan bases that know, hey, that's the starting center who walked through the door that won the 2005 championship, right? But most of the NFL towns aren't like that. And you live up north, so wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would agree, but let me ask you this question. Let's just go to Dallas real quick. You think Michael Irvin likes his
No, no,
Miami
no, no.
ring?
Well, I'm not going to Dallas. Dallas is a bad example. Give me
So
anybody
wait, now
else.
you're really parsing here. So okay, win a Natty or win a Super Bowl with a franchise that has a rabid fan base.
Well, I think there are exceptions, but would I rather win? Okay, if I'm Michael Irvin, would I rather win a Natty at Miami or a Super Bowl at Tampa Bay? I'd rather
I
win a
mean,
Natty at Miami with the guys that I grew up with and that I've known
but
for
you're
years.
okay. You're really like, well, first of all, Miami fans are as fair weather as Tampa Bay fans, and you know that, Dave. I bet. I mean, wasn't that
But
almost a home game for Tennessee when they visited Miami when you
well, I
covered the
don't care
game?
about the fans. I'm talking about the brotherhood among the players.
Well, okay, but then that also here's in a different way. You know this, and it wasn't about the rabid fan base. Those '90s Cowboys that Michael Irvin was a part of, they had a brotherhood. Now it was a bit of a reckless brotherhood, wasn't it?
Yeah, brotherhood and ladies of the night. Smoky Mountain Red says, for me, college is way more important than the NFL, but I know there are people on the other side of that. I agree with you. So
Let me ask you a question: Who do you think cherishes more, Al Wilson's Natty ring or Peyton Manning his Super Bowl? Who do you think cherishes? Who cherishes that ring? Who cherishes the ring more?
Okay. Let me ask you this. Peyton Manning has 2 Super Bowls. If you had him be 100% honest, would he say, I would rather win a national championship and trade in one of those Super Bowl victories?
Okay, yes. Wait, hear
Oh,
me out. Hear
look
me
at
out. Hear
that.
me out. Hear me out. Yes, but largely because I don't think Peyton Manning feels like he really won that 2015 Super Bowl. I mean, I think Peyton Manning's like, okay, I guess I was part of this Super Bowl team. Cam Newton won a national title at Auburn. Do you not think he would trade in winning that 2015 Super Bowl for that national title at Auburn?
Yeah, I think we could pick individual guys, and I kind of cheated because Peyton's already got one in his pocket, right? So, I mean, that's a
Yes.
little bit. We could go back and forth, but I bet Peyton would trade a Super Bowl championship for a natty, or even
I
maybe just beating Florida once and letting the cards fall where they may. I
I
bet
got a
he'd do
question.
that.
Now, this is basketball, so it's different. I know it's different, but it is at UNC. You think Michael Jordan cherishes his UNC national title ring more than any of his Bulls finals rings? You really think he cherishes that?
Well, the question would be, would he take 5 championships,
No,
or
he
would
has a
he?
natty ring. He has a natty at
Well,
UNC.
I know. Would if he had to give one up, which would it be?
You say, oh, if he had to give one up, I think he gives up the UNC natty. He likes his 6 rings, man, in the NBA.